Calculator. I mean, to be honest, I don't know how to really use an abacus. I'm Giovanna Chavez Bassing, and I'm the Math Group Manager for the Las Vegas and Colorado office. Our main goal is to verify the math model that the supplier designs against the software and evaluate it against the jurisdictional regulations. To do that, in most cases, our analysts are developing simulations. So in that case, they have to work very closely with the engineering group to ensure that the simulation that they're designing mimics the game software and the actual math model that the supplier intended. We take that simulation and we develop it to produce the RTP and the odds for events and awards, and we use those results and evaluate them against the jurisdictional regulations that are in test. It's actually very important for us to pay attention to all the little details because the math model is the game. So if there's anything wrong with the math model, that can result in the supplier having to redesign their game. So it's really critical for us to not make any mistakes and to really pay attention to the littlest things that no one would even think about. It really is important that we get it right, because if there's anything that goes through that's incorrect, that means that the game was incorrect. Math is not constant. The testing process is not mechanical, although the process steps can be the same each time because we are problem solving. Depending on what we are testing, that problem solving aspect can be very complex and very involved, so it's not constant each time. Where's the calculator? The goal there is to ensure that the RNG does not produce bias outcomes and that the outcomes are not predictable. The first step that our analyst is going to do is they're going to review the source code of the full RNG solution. Within that step, they can sometimes detect if there is going to be any bias or predictable outcomes. If it is determined to be a sound algorithm through that source code review process, we'll have a second layer of testing, and that's where we actually collect the random numbers from the RNG, and we apply statistical tests to that sample of data to determine if, in that step of our testing, we can determine if there's any patterns that are detectable or any bias that was not seen during the source code review process. Yes. No, my checkbook, who uses checks? That's a tough one for me. What I enjoy is using algebraic equations to solve for the unknowns in math puzzles or word problems. So I can't just pick one equation. I love algebra. I think that was my favorite math subject. Goodwill hunting. It's pretty impressive though, because when you're a math analyst, they assume that you're just like that. You're like, oh, she could solve everything. Women have great minds for problem solving in everyday life, and that's what math is. It really is just problem solving. When it comes to math, what I find to be a beautiful thing is that there's that one solution that you're looking for, but there could be many ways to get there.